Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, o see them yopo.
Makwaba edeba PENDREAM TV so mesro say any day can out share na be subscribe to channel no click bell ni so say the news to our son sabet me aka interview with you. Sammy Gyamfi na Saturday I twam ya one Dennis Miracle Aboagye share our news for so na NDC for launch on manifesto we ya na any Dennis Aboagye na NPP for share say ka say NDC for a copy of manifesto policies new na our news for so omutna se no Samson ladi ebisa omudi ama obia de nsem to dwana video no hameba mo ahwe okwan Sammy Gyamfi efa so we na Gen Z for kan say wa cooking no like wano I expose Dennis Miracle Aboagye I want to we try say NDC for a copy of more policies meanwhile NPP for mum na copy from NDC for some of manifesto policies and NDC 2020 from free tertiary for people with disability, 1 million coding for youth, no, and NHIS, the Oyeno national. Make us have a brave video. No, I may perceive a record. No, I can't Sammy Gyamfi fast expose Dennis Miracle Aboagye. I want try no trust NDC for a copy of my manifesto. Young video.
You guys have gone copying manifestos. Just a brief response, then we'll call.
Let's just give me equal time. You see, number one, this is the stock in trade of the NPP. Lies upon lies upon lies.
Can you make your point without saying lies upon lies?
Yeah, that is important.
No,
it's important.
No,
it's important.
It's not
to
right.
Describe what they have done.
It's not right.
Falsehood, deliberate falsehood. You see, something. Let me start from where he started from. He said that no one, because you made a point that people have commended our manifesto. And he replied by saying that aside NDC people, he has not heard anybody commend the NDC manifesto as laudable, as responsive to the plight of Ghanaians. Is Franklin Kujo an NDC member? Some say, help me, that's your friend. The executive director of Imani, is he an NDC member?
I've heard what TUC has said about the 24-hour economy.
Manifesto,
so you don't need to...
Hold on. Oh, Samson, allow me. NDC manifesto had clear, relatable, humane, and universal ideas. Franklin Kujo, he's not NDC. Then Professor Gyamfi, not NDC. NDC manifesto contains simple and sensible interventions. So when you have Bawumia's communications director come to sit here and say that aside NDC, no other person has lauded the NDC manifesto, he's peddling falsehood. Number two, he says we have stolen their manifesto promises. And exact words, yes, he said in some cases, we lifted promises from their manifesto. And you challenge him to give you just one example.
PWDs.
Look, I am demonstrating to you that he is a liar. Look, the promise to make tertiary education free for all persons with disability was contained in the 2020 manifesto of the NDC. He doesn't know, I'll prove to him. Anybody watching me, Google NDC 2020 People's Manifesto. Check page 74, item T. So the paragraph is 7.26, tertiary education. And it says the next NDC government will, you come to T, provide free tertiary education for persons with disability. So why will you come and sit here and lie that we've stolen your promise or your policy when it was contained in our 2020 manifesto at a time Bawumia was not even contesting for president? Look, if they are so lazy that they can't read our manifesto before they come and lie, at least what about checking on the internet? This is a story by starfm.com. And my job online did the same story. NDC promises free tertiary education for people living with disability. September 7, 2020. You come and sit here. This is your stock in trade. Moving from radio station to radio station, telling lies.
Speak to the fact and leave it.
What's the meaning of this?
Speak to the fact and leave it.
Then he says that 1 million coders program, NDC 2020 manifesto. Check page 84. It is there. And it is never true, like you pointed out to him. You say they lie with arrogance, obscene, nauseating arrogance. And when you are correcting them, they will not be humble to even accept. Page 84, Samson. What is there is not just about coding. Listen to the whole gamut of things we said we're going to train 1 million young people in. Page 84, 2020 manifesto. The next NDC government will implement the following policies. Okay, 1 million coders program. And he said this initiative will be implemented through a public-private partnership to provide free training to 1 million youths with knowledge and skills for A, coding and programming, B, web developing, apps development, etc. C, expand opportunities in the knowledge and ICT-based economy. So they stole this policy, but Womia's first announcement was 1 million coders.
Now you are saying they stole.
Yes, because we promised this in 2020, but Womia was not a candidate. Akufo-Addo never promised this. So in 2024, Bawumia goes to UPSA in that infamous lecture and then lies that when he steals this policy and says when they come, they will roll out 1 million coders program. So we expose them. After we expose them, they have now changed the language to we will train 1 million people in digital skills. What is the difference between training digital skills and the things I've listed for you here? So they are the ones in the business of stealing manifesto promises. You keep on asking him, show us promises that the NDC lifted from your manifesto. And he says, I have it here, I have it here. You have it here. Is that how we argue on this file? Show us the promise we lifted. Not even one. And I've demonstrated to you.
He has, except that you have counted it.
No, he lied. Because the promise to make tertiary education free for PWDs was a 2020 manifesto promise of the NDC. And this, I heard him mention scholarship. Don't even go there. You are promising to streamline scholarships. We are promising to introduce legislation to coordinate and streamline scholarships and ban political appointees from benefiting from scholarships. Totally different from what
when we get to Bawumia's press engagement,
we will get there.
That issue will come up about the scholarships.
Yes,
because when I mentioned the problems that are being faced by students abroad on the scholarships, my focus was also whether he would prohibit politically exposed persons from accessing them.
And at least let it be on record. Your production crew can check it. Which political party first promised free tertiary education for PW?
But Sammy, let me moderate.
I'm giving you the page number in our 2020 manifesto. Let me go to health insurance.
Okay, that's where you end it. That's where you end it. That's where you end it.
You see,
I'm telling you, that's where you
people
end
are watching.
That's where you end
these things.
The fairness is not in the time allocation. Go ahead.
Look, I'm even going to the foundation. Who told him that it was Kufuor who introduced health insurance? Who told him that? National health insurance. Samson, me, when I talk about something, I don't say it's on my laptop. I read it to you and I give you sources. So Google this story. Government must accept useful minority suggestions. Dated 26th April 2000. Who was the president? Jerry John Rawlings and the NDC. Ghana web story. Read. This is Adokofor, spokesperson on health for the NPP at the time. He says, Dr. Adokofor, MP for Menchia on Tuesday, called on the government to accept useful suggestions from the opposition. He noted that the billions of cedis and energy wasted on the single national health insurance scheme could have been saved if the government had not brushed aside the minority suggestion in 1997 that such a scheme was not viable. It was the NPP in 97, 98, 99 who said that it is not possible for Ghana to have a single national health insurance scheme.
He quoted Leocran. That is also fact.
No, we are talking about free SHS. Don't miss. Let's expose them. This is health insurance, and we are educating your audience. So this was their position, because Rawlings had started the piloting. The college check was doing it, and we had started the piloting of national health insurance, and they said it was not possible. And they advocated for a mutual district health insurance scheme. In 2003, they passed Access 50. If he doesn't know, you should go and read. And Section 2 of Access 50, the law of war passed, on the functions of that scheme. In fact, they call it Health Insurance Council. Let me read Section 2 to you. Section 2 of the, I will make reference to it, but anybody watching me, Google Act 650. That is the first Health Insurance Act Kufuor passed in the year 2003. And what it provided for was for the establishment of health insurance schemes. And in fact, let me just Google it quickly and read out to you, Act 650.
I'm sure I made that point.
Yeah, it's important that we educate people.
Okay, so...
It's here. I just got it. For the purpose of achieving this object, the council has the following responsibility: register, license, and regulate health insurance schemes. So organizations could have their own health insurance schemes, districts could have their own mutual schemes, and this council could established through the passage of Act 650 was to license and regulate them. B says supervise the operations of health insurance schemes. This is the law. It was the NDC that came into office, and in 2012, at the time, Professor Mills had even died. President Mahama was acting as president, and we passed Act 852. Let me read Act 852 to you. Act 852 was what established what we have today, the National Health Insurance Authority. And Section 3 of Act 852 says this. Section 2, the object of the authority is to attain universal health coverage. In fact, Section 3, functions of the authority. To achieve the object of the authority shall implement, now not regulate or license or supervise, implement, operate, and manage the National Health Insurance Scheme. This was when National Health Insurance Scheme was.
Right.
So you are exposing and advertising your ignorance.
The highlights to
you don't know what you're talking about.
Premium is what became the highlights.
The NDC never.
Thank you.
They rather objected.
That's where you ended.
That's where you ended.
Samson,
I beg you. Let me land well. You gave him ample time. This is
but you will never land.
And he spread the lie. He says the energy sector is thriving, and you were smiling. The energy sector choked with debts. IPPs threatening us day in, day out that they are going to shut down their plants. The energy sector today, look at upstream sector. We've had a 32% decline in oil production.
Thank you.
Tor is on his knees.
Right.
You are talking about allowances that today their children.
Let me do this. Dr. Champon.
Abruptly like that.
Dr. Champon.
Don't do that to me.
No, stop. It's enough.
At least let me land on this point.
You will not land. That's what I'm seeing.
The exposure is enough.
You will not land.
He told
Dr. Champon.
Samson, let me land in 1 minute. In fairness, the way you allowed him to land, let me land.
Even 1 hour.
We know the lies about allowances, they are not paying. But this is what I will say in conclusion. He and his likes in the NPP should be the last people to talk about credibility. You have a man who is famed for being a liar. A man who promised...
you have framed for being a liar. Don't say who is framed.
This is the man who sat... So let me tell you what that man does. He stood in Cape Coast and said, good people of Cape Coast, I have good news for you. We are building a new harbor and a new airport for you. It was a lie.
It's repeated.
This is the man.
It is repeated.
After 4 years,
that it will be done. So.
But something, what are you talking about? The man said 4 years ago that they were building a harbor and an airport. That's what you meant by... The man said that in 18 months of an NPP government, no community will have a water or toilet problem.
Dr.
This is the man who said we don't have to borrow for roads.
Sammy.
This is the man who said you give us concrete roads.
Sammy.
You leave this liar and you come and say John Mahama doesn't have credibility. The Mahama who gave us the best airport in the whole of West Africa.
Sammy.
The Mahama who gave Ghana the biggest
Sammy, listen to me. Can you listen to me? Can I moderate the show?
Because you are not giving me the same time, and you did that the last time. You gave him 10 more minutes than me.
And you have done more minutes than 10 more minutes. You have done 11 minutes plus.
No, Samson. I think you should be fair.
You have done 11 minutes plus.
You should be fair and allow me to land.
You've done 11 extra minutes plus.
It's important.
Thank you. It's enough.
That we set the record.
Sammy, it's enough. Dr. Champon, come in. Dr. Champon, come in. Dr. Champon, come in.